Today, let's talk about experiences in the past. Learn about the present perfect with Laura and Tom. Laura and Tom are going to use the new tense in their example dialogues.
Hi Laura, have you ever met the Queen of England?
Don't be silly, I have only ever seen her on TV.
Can you notice a new tense form here? And the signal words? Remember the colors for later. Next example.
But have you ever seen a kangaroo in real life?
Of course I have. You know that I've been to Australia 3 times.
Look at the words in color again. Now an example in the third person.
Has your brother traveled around the world before?
No, he hasn't. He has never traveled around the world, only to Australia.
You can see the new tense form and the signal words again. Now let's have a closer look. The present perfect has 2 parts. A form of the auxiliary verb to have and the past participle. This is new to you. It can look like the simple past, like in traveled, or it can have an irregular form. Then you have to learn it, just like the irregular simple past forms. Remember the words in red for later. Now, let's look at the formation of different types of sentences. In a positive sentence, start with a subject, then use the auxiliary verb and the past participle. For example, I have been to Australia. Of course, you can also form a negative sentence. It has the same word order, but you negate the form of have. He hasn't traveled the world. Any problems so far? Go back in the video if that was too fast for you. If not, let's go on with questions. Here, you always have to use the auxiliary verb in front of the subject. You already know that from questions with to do. Have you ever met the Queen? How often have you been to Australia? In short answers, please never repeat the main verb, but always the form of the auxiliary verb. You can see this in the 2 examples here. Yes, I have. No, I haven't. Take a short break now if that was already a lot for you, before we go on to talk about why we use the present perfect. All these sentences tell you or ask you about something that you have experienced or haven't experienced in the past until now. The present perfect can express how many times you have done something. The signal words for this tense are never, ever, only ever, before, and anything that expresses how often you have done something, for example, once, 3 times, 100 times, and so on. It is not important when the experience happened, like in sentences with the simple past, here expressed by the signal words last year or in 2018. When you use sentences like, have you ever met a famous person, or I have been to Australia 3 times, you are not saying that the action is over, like in the simple past. But you are saying that something has happened until now, maybe once, maybe 3 times, maybe 100 times, maybe never. From now on, always keep the difference between the 2 tenses in mind.
Goodbye for today. We hope you had fun learning about signal words
and about the forms of the present perfect. See you next time!
If you liked this video, maybe you want to check out Laura and Tom's other grammar videos or even have a look at my videos for practicing the Latin language.